What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update for you guys and another twist in the Harry Kane saga. And before last time we gave you an update, we've got so many Harry Kane updates to get through.
This club,
and
man.
look,
this
club. We brought you on the last update the info I told you to take with a pinch of salt last night. But as every minute passes, that info is looking absolutely spot on. So if you didn't see the update before, the info was that last night I got a text from someone and they said Bayern Munich bid has been accepted by Tottenham and Harry Kane is going to reject that offer from Bayern Munich. So having said that, let's get into the updates today and since the last update anyway. And Sky Cava started off saying Harry Kane to Bayern Munich is a long way from being done. Kane is still leaning towards staying at Tottenham Hotspur at the moment. Jacob Steinberg said that Harry Kane is yet to agree personal terms with Bayern, but the German club are confident he will join. Jason Burt from The Telegraph says that Harry Kane admires new Tottenham boss Postecoglou and he already has a good relationship with the manager. Matt Law says that Harry Kane is unsure and deliberating over whether or not it's too late to make the biggest decision of his career after Bayern finally agreed a deal with Tottenham to sign the England captain. Sky Sports News says it's increasingly likely Harry Kane will stay at Tottenham despite agreeing a £100 million fee for the Bayern Munich for the transfer of the player. Sammy Mockbell says that Harry Kane very much considering staying at Spurs. Bayern have been very public of their pursuit of Harry Kane, with Uli Hoeneß and Jan Christian Driesen commenting on their pursuit of the striker. Those public comments have left Kane in an uncomfortable situation, whilst also frustrating Tottenham in the process. Julian Plettenberg saying Harry Kane is hesitating over joining Bayern Munich right now, and Bayern are aware of this. Sources describing the situation as a 50-50 right now. Plettenberg is definitely sweating right now. And Romano said that Bayern have all the contracts, medical presentations ready for Harry Kane, everything being prepared, but they're still waiting on the final green light from the player. Kane wanted the move to happen earlier in July or the beginning of August. The fee agreed between Bayern and Tottenham is €100 million guaranteed, plus €20 million in add-ons. Nothing has been signed as of yet. Now it's no longer up to Daniel Levy, but only up to Harry Kane. And finally, Christian Falk says that there is said to be a disagreement between Harry Kane and Tottenham about the transfer. Bayern are puzzled. So, I mean, let's start off with that. I mean, in terms of a disagreement between Tottenham and Harry Kane, I mean, the only thing I can think of is that, you know, Tottenham want to get the money in for Harry Kane now, and Harry Kane wants to go on a free at the end of the season.
I said last update, if I was advising Harry Kane, I would advise him to stay another year, and he can get the pick of the clubs and a lot more money and a bigger signing on fee in a year's time, and he doesn't have to limit himself to a 2 or 3 year contract to Bayern Munich, be stuck in the Bundesliga, where I don't think really that's where he really wants to be. I mean, this football club is just an absolute roller coaster. I mean, I was absolutely down in the dumps for the whole day. Like when this news that Kane bid got accepted, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it's actually happening. I wasn't ready to lose Harry Kane. I wasn't ready for it. And then all of a sudden, we're getting this news filtering in that there is some issues with the deal. Kane doesn't seem to want to leave. And I think this leads on to what Kane has, what his kind of thinking has been throughout this deal, was that if it gets too close to the season, essentially, he'd rather stay for a year because it's not fair to Ange, it's not fair to the club on the squad. If he is looking like starting the season, well, he did say starts for Brentford, but I'm pretty sure he probably meant if he looked like he was going to be playing the season for Tottenham, and for Ange to get the rug pulled out of him with Kane being snatched away from him at the last minute, I don't think he thinks that's fair. I think as well that like we said before, he probably was desperate to leave at the beginning of the summer when, look, he hadn't met Ange yet, he didn't know what was going on this summer, we'd be going in a bad direction and all that kind of stuff. And now, you know, he's had a pre-season with Ange, he's seen the signings made, we brought in people like Maddison who he's friends with, and he's probably thinking like, maybe this season ain't going to be too bad, maybe I'd like to see what's going to happen this season. And I think in a weird way, Tottenham trying to get the best fee has probably played their way out of Harry Kane agreeing the deal, because it's taken so long. It's allowed him to get used to the surroundings of the new manager, and it's allowed him to like see what's going to happen and how we're going to be playing next season, and actually start to like get on board with it. And in a weird way, that's what Tottenham should want, but in a way that's kind of worked against them, because it seems as though Tottenham actually have, in the end, either they want the money because they're not sure he's going to sign or not, and it's a risk, like keeping him or not. And Daniel Levy, it seems as though from what we're looking at, because they have accepted the bid. So and also they not only have they accepted the bid, it seems to be a lower bid than they have been demanding for before. So maybe all this time Tottenham have been looking for the money and have been wanting to accept the bid, and now it's taken them so long, they've played their way out of it.
Yeah, it's madness. It's absolutely madness how this day has progressed, to be honest. We came in here, we heard that a fee had been agreed, David Ornstein broke it, and me and Sim are just sitting here like, oh my God, it's actually happening. It's actually happening. And now all this news filtering through. I mean, look, nothing's done by any stretch of the imagination. Harry Kane can still go and accept that Bayern deal, and he could still go by the end of the day. But I do envisage that we will get an answer on this topic by the end of today. It has to come, surely, by the end of the day. With the first Premier League game kicking off tomorrow, Spurs don't kick off till Sunday, fair enough. But I mean, we have to get an answer, surely, on this today.
Well, Romano's saying he doesn't want to fly out on Friday or Saturday, so he wants to get everything settled today. So we
You don't want to fly out on Thursday either,
no,
mate.
definitely not. We await the definitive answer from Harry Kane as to whether he 100% will be staying this season. But the developments on this story have been absolutely incredible, and it's just been toing and froing. And now we're left in a situation where it looks more likely than not again that Kane is going to be here for the next season, which for me, I'm very excited about. I'm very happy about. And it means for me that we're going to be, there's more reasons to be excited for going into next season. Because for me, even if we got the money and we were scrambling around to getting our targets from now to the end of the window, I don't think that leaves us in a stronger position than having Harry Kane here and banging in goals for Ange Postecoglou. And maybe Ange really has made an impression on him. Not to say that he's definitely gonna now put pen to paper and commit his future to Tottenham whatsoever. But I definitely think that the fact that after this preseason with Ange and after he's had these chats and see where he fits in, that he looks like he kind of likes what's happening at Tottenham, I think that only bodes well.
You know, I was thinking about this last night, and I was thinking, look, I think he went into the conversations and the personal terms and everything earlier on where he gave Bayern the indication that he would go there. I think that was all in good faith, and I think he was, open to the move and Bayern. But I think it's got down to crunch time. And now he's thinking, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to go over to the Bundesliga? Do I really want to throw away this Premier League record? Well, look, he still can come back, but in the short term anyway. Do I really want to throw away this Premier League record? Am I really going to go out to the Bundesliga? Like, is it a great move for my career? And then I think he's thought, no, I don't want to go over to the Bundesliga. I want to stick around here in the Premier League for one more year, get even closer to Shearer's record. By the end of the season, he could be within 10, 15 goals away from Alan Shearer's record. And then by the end of the season, he could say to himself, look, are Spurs going in the right direction? Do I want to sign on the dotted line here? Or am I going to have the pick of any club I want to go to? Am I going to get this mad signing on fee, which I deserve? Am I going to get these mad wages that he commands and deserves? So by him not going to Bayern leaves all the options open. But I do think that he went in there in good faith and really thought that he was open to a move to Bayern. And I actually think now I actually think he will end up signing at some point. I really do. I've done a complete 180 on this. I think he's sitting there thinking, nah, I'm not really going to go to Bayern. He can't bring himself to leave this club.
I think
he can't bring himself to leave the club.
I think if this deal was agreed early July, I think it'd be gone.
Yeah,
and I just think the fact that we've given him that time. We should basically, if Tottenham really wanted to sell and really what we're looking for the money, and weren't just looking for the best price, what we should have done is we should have sold him really early, invested the money in the squad, got the squad ready for pre-season and the new season, and then moved on from that way. The way we've dealt with it as a club has put Kane in this situation where they've allowed him to get familiar with Ange, they've allowed him to get familiar with the new signings and see what Ange is building, and then they expect him to just leave that all behind last minute and go over to Bayern Munich because they got the offer they wanted. And I think Tottenham themselves have actually played this hand really badly. They've played the hand well for them in terms of getting the best price, but I don't think they've played the hand well when it comes from a sporting point of view. And that's always been Harry Kane's first focus. He's not bothered about money. He's bothered about winning trophies or where the football comes first for Harry Kane. Is basically my point. And I think he's looked at the Ange project and he's really gotten to like it. And I'm not saying that he's fallen in love with Ange and that means he's staying, but I think he probably feels like to leave 2 days before the start of the season is really unfair on Ange and on the football club from a sporting point of view, not financial point of view. And that's where his head is at. Whereas Spurs are like, we want the money, you're going to leave on a free. So from a financial point of view, Tottenham are like, we need the money. But from a sporting point of view, I think Kane has looked at the situation, thought, I am better off staying, and Tottenham could be on for a good thing next season. I might as well keep my options open, see what happens in a year's time. And I like the way Ange is like going about things, and why not give it another year?
I think that's true to a certain extent, in a case where before he met Postecoglou, before he went on tour, before all that thing. If this offer came in as soon as the season finished, we have no idea who our manager's going to be. Everything's up in the air. You know, that moment when Arne Slot rejected us and all that kind of thing. If it came in that moment, I think Harry Kane potentially might have gone there. But any time after that, I actually have a feeling that it would have ended up in this way where he wouldn't want to leave what he's built here behind, to be honest. And I think he's so fully COYS, he just can't bring himself to leave, in my opinion. And I think when push comes to shove, at some point, I really think he's going to stay here. I've just got this feeling he's going to stay here, and I think that he will put his pen to the dotted line at some point if we're going in the right direction under Ange.
Yeah, I really hope so. And I still think that's far away to think about, to be honest, right now. But if we do have a good season and he does really enjoy playing under Ange and we're still getting the best out of him and we're, climbing up the table, we're competing near the top, like maybe not a title, but, Champions League and stuff like that, and maybe, potentially winning a cup or something, I do think he'll start to think like, why should I leave? I've got everything I can do here, especially we offer him a contract, which is enough to get him to stay. But I still think we're very far away from that. I just think right now he's going to keep his options open, because why commit your future to being 3 years in Germany when you can keep all your options open? You might get Madrid offer in a year, you might get a different offer in a year. Spurs might be in a different position in a year's time. So why now, especially 2 days before the start of the season, leave the squad and the manager high and dry who are relying on you, where I think it's better for him to stay personally. So I don't see the sense in agreeing a move to Bayern Munich right now for Harry Kane himself.
The man is so fully COYS, he just can't bring himself to leave the club. Look, nobody, whenever everyone talks about Harry Kane, nobody talks about the legacy that he's built at Tottenham Hotspur. The last 10 years, becoming our top ever goal scorer, an absolute legend at this football club. And I don't think that goes away if he does leave. But he's got a chance to build on that under a new regime now, bringing attacking football back to Spurs. I think he's looking at what Ange Postecoglou is doing on the training ground. And Harry Kane spoke about at the back end of last season, we need to get the fundamentals back. We lost a lot on the training ground since Pochettino has gone. And I think he's seeing a lot of those things come back now.
Yeah, 100%. I think that he knows that we kind of lost our way for the last 4 years, 100%. I think he knows that. And even though the managers he might have liked, and I don't even think Kane probably minded how we were playing football. It was more the approach of the club that he probably didn't like. Getting good managers, but not fully backing them and not going all the way to make sure that they can be a success at this football club. But I think under a manager like Ange, it's definitely much more in line with the philosophy of the club. It's much more in line with how the club should be operating. And I think he probably sees that and thinks he can have an enjoyable season, have a good season. When you're bringing players like Maddison, that's going to also make him think, look, maybe we are starting to do the right things again. Maddison, is going to be perfect for what Ange wants. So signing a Van der Ven, finally fixing that centre-back issue. Maybe he's thinking, look, this is a young team that I can grow with, and potentially this is something I can see a future with. And there's no need to kind of jump ship and go to Bayern when I agreed to go to Bayern, it was all a mess. So maybe things are starting to come together. And as I say, that's all down to Spurs for waiting this long to agree a deal.
All right, well, now you just got to bloody win a trophy this year, Spurs, and convince Kane even more that there can be a future at this football club. But look, I don't think this is the end of it by any stretch of the imagination. Potentially more twists and turns to come by the end of the day.
Well, first of all, as well, is there an element in this story, not just Kane doing, maybe finding the way with Ange Postecoglou, but is there a part of this where you're thinking, is he not screwing over the club, but he's going to do what's best for him. And like, is there a selfish element to this in terms of like he's foregoing Tottenham getting a fee for him and potentially going on a free, and maybe Tottenham won't be happy with that, and maybe that could cause some friction between the club and him.
I think it is a possibility, but I think because of what Kane's given this club over the last 10 years, I don't think anyone can say a word to him, to be honest. And when you're looking at how the land lies at Tottenham, all the blame and everything goes on to Daniel Levy and how he's conducted himself in the past. So Daniel Levy's made his bed and now he has to lie in it.
But I'm saying, yeah, is there like an element of this that is like defying Levy from Kane, do you think?
Yeah, I think there is. If we're hearing that the club are, and they have difference of opinion and are not like seeing on the same page. Obviously, it's Harry Kane, wanting to have all options open to him and for him to decide what he wants to do. And Daniel Levy obviously wants a fee in for his star man, Harry Kane. So I do think there could be a little bit of friction between Levy and Harry Kane. But if Harry Kane starts banging them in next season again and potentially signing a contract, but that comes later. But even if he just starts banging in throughout the season, I think that kind of gets swept under the carpet.
I agree. I just wonder if there is an element of like Kane going against what Levy wants for the club. I'm not saying that Kane wouldn't sign a contract based on that, but I wonder like how contract negotiations would then happen, like between them, if there's a bit of friction about Tottenham. Obviously Levy's
got no choice.
Obviously Levy's going to
have no choice.
Obviously Levy's going to be desperate for him to sign a contract, but I wonder if like Kane would, like, just to stick it to Levy, go on a free, and then that would be an issue.
Look, at the end of the day, right, up until this point, up until this summer, Daniel Levy has held all the cards in this saga. He's the one that has held Harry Kane against Tottenham against his will a couple of years ago. He's the one that has been the power man in this situation. And now it's been a complete flip reversal. Now Harry Kane holds literally all the cards. And I can't be happier, to be honest, because Daniel Levy deserves these kind of things, to be honest. And he's held the club back over the last however many years it's been. Harry Kane has kept his part of the bargain. Daniel Levy hasn't, and hasn't progressed the club in the way it should be. So I'm happy to see Daniel Levy on the back foot, to be honest.
But we'll see what happens. He'll be gutting at this point. If Kane then now ends up going to Bayern, I don't know if I'll live with that, honestly. Yeah. I really hope that this news is accurate and true, and that he really is going to reject it. But we haven't heard he's going to reject it yet. At the moment we've only heard he's hesitant. He's not sure yet. But you can just infer from that, like if it was as far along as Bayern would have you suggest, surely this would be done by now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, minute silence for all the Bayern hierarchy, and not yet. I'll leave that till later. But what you were saying before as well, how I can't even remember, but you were talking about Levy and the way they've played this, and it falls into the favour of it. Not in the favour of the club because they're not getting the money in. But actually, for the first time ever, probably unintentionally or definitely unintentionally, they're making a decision that falls into the favour of the fans. For the first time
100%,
ever.
100%. I mean, they're not making the decision. But
it's unintentional. I know it's unintentional, but finally we're getting something.
Yeah, as a fan, I couldn't be happier. Look, as much as a better balance sheet is all well and good, I'm a football fan first and foremost. If I get to see at least another year of Harry Kane in the Tottenham shirt, that is what's going to make me happier, rather than seeing bigger numbers on their balance sheet.
Yeah. All right, let's move on and let's talk about Tanguy Ndombele. Reports in Turkey suggest that Fenerbahce are starting contacts to sign midfielder Tanguy Ndombele from Tottenham. And hopefully this one can start moving along quicker than the Galatasaray rumours.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Look, looks like there's a few clubs interested in him. It's all about whether they're going to be able to take on the wages and what kind of transfer they're going to pay. I did see a video of Tanguy still in training with Tottenham, so he still looks like he's part of the first team training at the moment. But looks like those talks with Turkey, they're not going away. Maybe we can get a bit of a bidding war going for him. But look, if that's what happens, then I think it's probably best for everyone if we part ways with Tanguy at this point.
And last but not least, let's talk about Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg, as Matti Moretto is pretty much giving us the same update every single week. But this time he says, Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg remains a priority for Atletico Madrid. The midfielder has fully agreed terms with Atletico. However, an agreement between Tottenham and Atleti are missing. Atletico are currently working on departures to raise funds. So I do imagine once the funds are raised, if they are able to sell João Felix to a Barcelona or someone like that, then this one will progress quicker.
Yeah, and if we can get players like Hojbjerg and Sanchez and Rodon and Ndombele and maybe one or two others out the door before the end of the window. I don't see why there can't be a bit of money to spend. I don't buy this that like we need to sell Harry Kane for a rebuild. I think this club has money. We're in a very good financial situation. Players like Hojbjerg have got value. He's worth like 30 million. If we can sell him, then the club have money. So I don't buy anything about like needing Kane to sell him to get any to sign players we want before the end of the window. But we'll see how the Hojbjerg situation progresses. It's been in pretty much the same situation for weeks now. I think again, I don't mind him staying, but I'd prefer to move him on and sign a more technical midfielder. But I actually think in pre-season he's been all right. I don't think he's been bad, so I don't mind him staying.
All right, well, there you have it. That is your Tottenham update for today. Maybe more to come later on in the day, but thank you everyone for joining us. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.